Hi dear students, welcome to our next class. In last class you learned about different types of crops and what are based on the season, how they are grown, this all you learned. And in new block you are going to learn about the living things on planet Earth. You can see in this picture there are two animals here. They are living things. You know that in before classes you learnt that organisms which can move, which can breathe, and which have life known as living things. Then are only these type of animals are living things? No, there are different types of millions of living organisms on planet Earth. Then to study about them, to know more about them based on their similarities. Based on their similarities, same characters. Based on their similarities, they are divided into groups. So, how to divide the living things into different groups? You are going to learn in today's class. So, our today's topic is grouping of living things. You are going to learn how to group the living things. Before knowing, we will see the new words in this block. So, the first one is grouping. GROUPING, grouping. Grouping meaning to arrange things or people in different groups based on their similarities and the differences. What are the differences you can see and what are the similarities based on that the organisms are divided into groups. And next one is bacteria. These are the living things that can live in all types of habitats and we cannot see with the naked eyes. We cannot see with our eyes. They can be seen only through the microscope. So they are bacteria. And fungi. Fungi means living things that cannot make their own food. They can't make their own food. They'll depend on organic matter. Organic matter means dead and decayed parts. Dead and decayed parts of plants and animals. Dead parts of plants and animals known as organic matter. So this fungi depend on that organic matter and bacteria cannot be seen with naked eye. We use only microscope to see them. And grouping means based on the similarities and based on the differences, living things are divided into groups. So these are the new words you are learning in this lesson. Now we will do one fun activity. So see here and learn how many types the living organisms are divided. How many types of living things are there on planet Earth? You see this chart and write these names in your notebook. Write heading as activity and what are the different types of living things on planet Earth. You mention one by one. You already know that the plants are one type of living things. They are there around us. And another living things are animals. And you write few examples under these plants and animals. Here you can see conifer, broad-leaved trees, fern and mosses. These are the different types of plants. They are having similar character like they all are having green color leaf and can make their own food. And one more thing, the difference is some are growing on plain lands, some are on mountains and some are in water plants. So this all you learned in before class adaptations in plants you had seen. So based on their characters, based on their similarity and difference, all the plants are arranged in this group. So one of the group is plants. And animals means here you can find some type of animals like insects, horse, earthworm and squid. So they have some common character. They all are heterotrophs, depend on other organisms to obtain their food. And the differences are some can fly, some can crawl on the ground, some can walk on the ground. So based on this, they all kept in a group called animals. These two groups you have already known. Now the new things you are learning here, the fungi group. Fungi group can grow on dead and decayed parts, dead parts of plants and animals. When plants and animals die, on these dead bodies, the fungi can grow. Neither it won't come in the plant group nor in the animal group. They are a separate group of organisms, separate group of living things. They are growing on dead and decayed parts of animals and plants. They can be seen with naked eyes. We can see them. With our naked eyes, we can see them. Some examples for fungi are mushrooms. We can make mushroom curry. Some mushrooms are edible. And yeast. Yeast cells we use to make biscuits and bread. And mold. These are bread mold where the bread is spoiled. You can see the fungi on that spoiled bread. So these are dead and decayed parts of plants and animals fungi is growing. So fungi is one more group of living thing. And the next one, protista. Protista means which have only single cell in their body, like which grow on moist places. Wherever the moist areas are there, there the protista group organisms can grow. Like amoeba, it's known as amoeba, algae, this all comes under protista group. And the next group is bacterias. They are very tiny and can't be seen with our naked eyes. We use only microscope to see them. So in this way, you just do an activity in your notebook. How many groups the living things are divided? Just write the headings of plants and animals and give some examples of them. And look at this image and write 3 more groups what are included in grouping living things. Okay? So now we will discuss what you learned through this activity. Now draw a flowchart to show the classification of living thing. One common feature of each group. Whatever you observed in that image, just now I explained you, draw in a flowchart like plants, animals and how they are divided into different groups. Now you watch the video, you will understand more things.
Just as we put different types of clothes in different sections of our closet, we divide living things on the earth into different groups. These groups are plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, and protists. The classification helps us to study the differences, similarities, and relationships between different living things.
Okay, understood children? What purpose this grouping of animals helpful for us? It helps us to study the futures of different groups of living things and to understand the relationship between different living things, and also to identify a new living thing and its origin by comparing it with the existing one. So when any scientist found a new living organism, by grouping these living things, we can understand this where we can place the new living organism in which group it comes under. And not only that, to understand the different groups and their characters, their similarities and differences, we can understand by grouping the organisms. And we can also understand the relationship between each organism. So this image gives you how these organisms are differentiated, how the living things are classified. So the first one, like animals, as you know, the animals and some examples, and the plants and some examples, and bacteria, just now I showed you, they cannot be seen with the naked eyes, and fungi like mushroom and yeast, they'll grow on dead and decayed parts, and they can be seen with eyes, we can see them. And protista, example algae and amoeba. So these are the different groups in living things, and how it's helping to study why do we need to classify the living things. Just now I told you classification is helping us to know the common features. Some living organisms have same features. So for example, cat is having four legs. Cat have some stripes on its body. Even the lion family have the same thing. Cats have canines, sharp canines. The lions too have sharp canines. Like that, to understand the common features, we are using the grouping. If we group living things with similar features, it is easy to study them. When we are grouping based on the similarities, it will be very easy to understand about that group of animals. And we can also understand the relationship between the different groups. Like aquatic animals live in water, and then reptiles came to the land. They have dry scales. Like that, how they are different from each other, you can understand by grouping the organisms. How animals depending on plants, you will know by knowing about the grouping. Moreover, if any new living thing is discovered, we can give a proper place according to the grouping of animals. So these are the uses of classification. These many uses are there by grouping the living things. Now, there are varieties of animals found around us. Can we further divide animal into subgroups, and how and why? Yes, definitely we can divide the animals into further groups, like some are having backbone, some are not having backbone. So based on the backbone, further we can divide the animals. Like fish are completely different from humans, and snails are different from the lizard. So, to study them properly, we need to divide the animals into subgroups. So, just now I told some animals are having backbone, some do not have the backbone. So, based on this character, we can categorize the animals into different groups. And plants are also, some plants can give flowers, some cannot give flowers. So based on this character, we can divide plants into flowering and non-flowering. Now we will see what are the worksheet questions in 5.1. So you can see here, grouping of living things. Tick the correct sentence about classification. There are different sentences are given about the classification. How these sentences are, you just read and give a tick mark if it is true. So classification is the process of sorting things into different groups. Are we sorting the things? Are we sorting the living things? We are sorting the living things, not the things around us, right? It is the process of mixing things. Are we mixing up each other? No. It sorts things into different groups according to their common features. Yes, based on the common features, we are keeping them in one group. So it's helping to divide into different groups. It is a scientific way to organize and study things. Yes, it is a scientific way to organize and study. Yes, children. So read like that, each sentence understand, and then give the tick marks for the sentences which are right for classification. And the next question you see, look at the pictures and complete the chart. Here bacteria and fungi are given and the remaining two living things are well known for you. You just name them in the boxes. One is plant group, the other one is animal group. And the next one, write two reasons why things are classified into groups. Why the things are classified into different groups? Because to study about them, it will be very easy. And when any new living thing, any new organism, or when any new living thing identified, I am giving just a hint for you children, you have to write by your own. If any new living thing found, by grouping the organisms, by classifying them, we can give proper place for a new living organism. And one more is to study about their characters, it will be very easy. So write in your own words what you understood. Now why do we divide plants and animals into subgroups? Plants and animals are divided into subgroups to know more about them, to give a proper place for them. To know more about them, we are grouping them into subgroups, and to give and to understand about these animals clearly, and to give place for new living organisms. If any new living organism have found, to give a proper place for them, we are using the subgroups. When any new living thing is found, to give the proper place for them, subgrouping of plants and animals is helping us. So you can write by your own children. This is just a hint for your answer. And once again, you read this from your content book. Each point you'll read from the content book. Then you answer your worksheet questions. Now we will see the practice questions. What are there? We'll see. On what basis do we group living things, and how is it important? You know, when you read content book, you will understand on the basis of their characters, on the basis of their features, similarities and differences. Based on their similarities and differences, we are grouping the animals. And why it is important means, it is important to understand the relation between each other, each living organism, how they are related with other organism, we will understand. And any new living thing found, we can give place for them. Write this answer in your notebook and write 3 reasons why do we need to classify the living things. Even this, just now I told you, write this answer also after reading the content book. And third one, how is the classification of plants different from that of animals? Okay, so classification of plants depending on the flowering and non-flowering. Classification of animals based on the backbone, which have backbone, which do not have backbone. And one difference between fungi and bacteria. Bacteria cannot be seen with eyes, naked eyes. We use microscope to see them. And fungi can be seen with our eyes. So fungi can be seen, whereas bacteria cannot be seen. Only we can see them by using a microscope. We have to use a microscope to see this bacteria. Understood? So what we are using to see the bacteria, we are using microscope to see them. Okay, then only we can see the bacteria, whereas fungi can be seen with naked eyes. So these three answers write in your notebook, children. These answers write in your notebook and also complete page number 22 worksheet and then post it to me, children. And be ready to show these two works in online class. Thank you.